open letter to Speaker of the House, Nancy Pelosi. Madam Speaker, I am writing to you today because I have a few things to say, even though I am fully aware that you have no interest in hearing from many Americans. I wish to encourage you to start participating in negotiations with President Trump on what is best for this country. We the American people would like to have peace, security and politicians that care about and work for their constituents. I realize that this is asking a lot when the House, Senate, judicial system and mainstream media MSM are so full of hatred for the American people and especially for our legally elected president. Donald J. Trump was elected by us to do exactly what he is doing because as Americans we were and still are fed up with the abuse of power, corruption in every department of government and the Bush/Clinton/Mossad/Netanyahu cabal, mafia or deep state. I am not sure who controlled whom and don't really care. It is time to clean house. We can start with some of the older ones that have been there too long. We can start with you, Maxine Waters, Chuck Schumer, Adam Schiff and rhinos like John Kerry. Who and what you really are is being exposed. One of the most devastating for you was the cancellation of your trip on an Air Force plane with a plane load of children so you could negotiate with traitors to establish a new regime with the murder of both President Trump and Vice President Pence. With them out of the way and you in the speaker position, you would be next in line to assume the presidency. From that point you could choose Hillary Clinton as your vice president and you were to relinquish presidential control to Hillary, effectively making her president. You like your power and control, so I wonder if you would have passed the baton to Hillary. Thank God President Trump knew and cancelled the use of a military plane. Which will you be tried for treason, sedition or conspiracy or murder? I understand that there is a petition going around to impeach you. Seems like there is a lot of that going on the political arena these days. I understand some of how you got to be the person you are today, having been born to Thomas D'Alessandro and Onion-Shada D'Alessandro and being raised in mafia life. You seem to have learned real well how to hate America and everything it stands for. Does your husband Paul feel the same? How sad to see an American turn on her own country with such cruelty and greed and the power of control. We now have a government that can't be trusted in to keep their word, that does little but lie to the people and is very prevalent in the Democratic Party and with the rhinos of the Republican Party. You have used underhanded tactics to get your way. With the help of the FBI, the CIA, Robert Mueller and your propaganda are the mainstream media MSM, and we must not forget about the pedophiles in both Hollywood and Washington. The child sex rings as well as the child sacrifice to Baal. How can anyone kill an infant, small child to a unholy entity? It does not matter if you participate in the activity or just protect and cover up for the ones that do take part. Here are a few more things that we know you either participated and had direct knowledge of: the dishonest and illegal circus and mockery of American Russian collusion. You knew that there was nothing, there was in fact no basis for it. You participated in a fraudulent conspiracy to launch an unsubstantiated allegation against an legally elected president by the people. Mueller was unleashed on the do everything in his power to destroy Trump. He has been aided and abetted by the deep state corruption to run roughshod over Americans that had no more to do with colluding with Russia than I did. If he thought he could use me in some way to continue this farce, he would probably be after me. Facts have little to do with his investigation, as witnessed by the excessive and planned mockery perpetrated on Jim Stone. How convenient that he can totally disregard any of the filth that came up about Hillary Clinton, the real criminal. All of that could be just swept under the rug by our politicians and their propaganda are the mainstream media MSM. MSM does not have any honor, integrity and has destroyed any credulity they ever had. They have become the laughingstock of America with their lies, their one-sided narrative. If we listened to them we would never get any truth at all. Fortunately we have good capable people that have been able to come up with alternate sources that are not controlled by Facebook, Google or any of the other suppressors of our constitutional free speech. With the help of the CIA, FBI and DOJ. The MSM has participated in or covered up the fact that John F. Kennedy was murdered by the order of George H. W. Bush, SR and cabal, took part in and covered for the pedophiles in both Washington and Hollywood. I am curious as to why these people in Hollywood think that their opinion is important to the American people. Their opinion has nothing to do with my life whatsoever. The cover-up of the Twin Towers and that it was not terrorists from another country but terrorists from American government that was responsible for the murder of nearly 3,000 people. The lies and protection of Hillary and her emails, servers, Benghazi blood on her hands, and aiding in the false claims of the EPA, CDC and others regarding the truth about vaccines. Last but not least was their feeding frenzy in the debacle of the Kavanaugh hearing circus. There are other things that we know, but I think you get the idea that we know more than you give us credit for. We Americans did not and do not want this kind of scum running our country. It is truly sad that America must support two militaries: the military-industrial complex that is corrupt to the core and is loyal to the deep state. The second is Q, loyal supporters to President Trump and America and the alliance. The American government is supposed to protect us from harm. We just didn't know we were going to need someone to protect us from out-protectors. What a mockery government has become. Good examples are recent shutdown because you hate Trump so much you will do anything to anyone to defeat him. You care nothing about the consequences, only that you get what you want. You and Chuck Schumer kept the government shut down for over 30 days before the president made some concessions in order to reopen the offices and get people back to work and get their back pay for survival. This was just a stopgap measure to prepare for what is to come next. You have been told that there will be another shutdown or he can declare an emergency to get the wall built. I personally do not believe that it is necessary for the president to declare an emergency to get it done. I would be willing to bet that there are regulations around it that does not involve Congress at all. We in America need that wall for our national security, and we don't believe the lies that you are spewing or how often you reject the fact from the professionals in the field. Today this was confirmed by a member of the Department of Defense. Your disgusting attempt to embarrass the President and America by withdrawing the invitation for the State of the Union address. As far as I am concerned, he can give it from the Oval Office or from a football stadium. It is the speech that counts, not where it is delivered from. That kind of childish behavior is you and becoming of a Congress professional. You have let your hate blind you to everything of truth and honorable, as was evidenced by what was supposed to be your trip to set up your cabinet as president after the White House was blown to bits to make sure both President Trump and Vice President Pence were killed. That put you in line to take over the reins as president and could appoint Hillary Clinton as her vice president, putting her in position to take the reins as commander-in-chief. Everything that Trump has accomplished for this country would quickly be reversed and get the New World Order globalism back in place, and things would go on as before, continually getting worse. When the people elected Trump as president, we were under no illusions as to what he was like. He had the qualifications to do the job unlike any other. We did not realize just how deep and dirty our politicians had become, and that he was going to need to do this filthy job with little to no help. He had plenty of obstacles from the Democratic side and from the corrupt un-American rhinos from the political party. He has accomplished much in his short time in office in spite of opposition from Democrats, Republicans, intelligence agencies and MSM. You thought you had the deck stacked against him, but you forgot about we the people. The biggest difference people see in our politicians is the president loves America and you hate America. Up until now I have tried to present facts and be fair in what I was writing. Now I will state my personal opinion. I watch and see the disgusting, contemptible, backstabbing, two-faced, bigoted, sanctimonious hypocrites that think they are going to continue to control. We will no longer tolerate those controls. Your cabal/mafia/deep state and your globalist agenda will not work because we don't want any part of it any more than France, Germany, the UK or any of the other countries that are fighting against it so hard. We are taking back our country. That disgusting CIA drug cartel, the FBI protection of Hillary and allowing her to get away with anything while perpetrating a fraud for the last 2 years based on lies. The lying MSM that are not journalists but just talking heads that sound like a bunch of parrots repeating the same phrase all day long on every channel. The only thing they are good for is if you need a good laugh. There are a lot of other things that I can add, but I am tired and this bunch does not deserve any more of my time or energy. Nancy Pelosi, you need to rethink what you are doing and start working for America. Elites, you are not scum, you are, and the deep state needs to slither back under the rock you came from under. May God have mercy on your soul. From this day forward you are either for America or you are against America. There is no middle ground. Take a side and take a stand. God bless the new reformed America.